Hello, 7th graders. This is Mrs. Alexander. And in this video, I want to help you as you are researching and gathering information for your English 7A Unit 3 research report. So I'm actually going to go through the steps and process of how to find a topic for your research report and also how to start gathering notes and even coming up with a good, strong outline for your research report. Now, the more time and effort we put into gathering sources and gathering information, the easier it will be to write our research report rough draft. So I'm going to go through a few things with you. The first is I want to show you, this is the graphic organizer found in your lessons, in lesson 3.06 in the student guide, but I also will include it with this resource. And this is really helpful in gathering information. So some students like to use this type of graphic organizer when they're looking for research questions, topics, or points, and then they can write their quotes or paraphrases here, and then they can write their source information here, so that way they can create their works cited page. This is your reference, your citation. Okay, so some students like that. Some students like to use an outline, so I will also provide you with this outline template that you can use to plug in your topic information and start finding information for your outline, which then gets turned into your rough draft, okay? So I'm going to show you how to use this outline. Again, some students might prefer to use this graphic organizer as their outline. Either way is fine, okay? All right, so in order to find a topic for my research report, you need to navigate to lesson 3.05. So I'm going to go to my content tab, and then I'm going to find lesson 3.05. In lesson 3.05, at the very end, you'll notice I'm already here. I'm in lesson 3.05, and at the very end, there's a read section. If I go to this read on scientific exploration, this is the first place that you can go to find sources for your report. I'm going to highly recommend you use ENG7A to gather your sources. You need about 3 to 4 sources for your report. So if you click on this link, it'll bring you to ENG7A, and this is where you can find topics and articles for your English 7A Unit 3 research report. So what should you do? You should select a text that interests you and read it. As you read, you can make annotations, take notes with questions that come to mind about the topic. You can take the comprehension quiz if you'd like. It's not part of your grade. And you can explore different scientific topics or scientists. Those are your options here. So yours will look a little different because you are a student. This is a teacher view. So you'll notice if you scroll through, you'll find different options. Now, if I scroll all the way down here, I noticed that there was this oceanography article that really interests me. So I think I'm going to do my research report on oceanography. If you don't see a topic that interests you here, you could also search, but I will show you how to search in a moment. So I'm going to click on this oceanography article, and I might want to save it. I'm going to click on the save button so I have access to it within my content. You can go to content and then click saved by you to find your saved articles. I could have it read aloud to me if I wanted. But I could print it out if I wanted. But here I am. I'm going to find my article information first. So here's my article information. I'm going to copy and paste this. This is easiest for me. Okay. I'm going to go back to my Word document. Again, if you use this, you could paste your information here. I just clicked paste, or Command V or Control V on your computer. I'm going to click Keep Text Only. So now I have who the author is. There's no real author. There's just National Geographic Society, which is fine. You know, I'm also going to add the title of the article. So I'm going to go back here and add this title because this is going to be needed for my in-text citation. So I'm going to add my title here. I just pasted it. And then this little clipboard thing comes up. I don't want it to look like that. I just want to click Keep Text Only. Then it goes regularly. All right, and so there's some of the information that I need for my citation. So now that I have that, now I'm going to gather information for my report. So my topic is on oceanography. So I've gathered some research questions, and again, you might have your outline ready, but I prefer you might want to use this and then go to your outline. That might help. Okay, so now I need to gather information. I'm going to gather information maybe on the history of oceanography, what is oceanography, who benefits from it. But I'm using this article. Remember, I just gathered this information from this article that I'm reading. So all of the quotes and information that I find are going to go here. Maybe I'll even bullet point it. Okay, that way I know that this is my article. Now, because there's no author, I'm going to, for my in-text citation, have National Geographic Society. And now, technically, if there were page numbers, I would include page numbers here. But if I go back to my ENG7A article, there are no page numbers. So I looked up what the rule was for in-text citations for no page numbers, okay? And it says when you quote from an electronic source, that's what we're doing. ENG7A is an electronic source that does not have page numbers. Cite the author name only. If there is no author, cite the first word or words from the title only. But we do technically have an author/publisher, so we're going to use that information, which is National Geographic Society. So anytime we quote or paraphrase information from this source, we're going to use this parentheses, National Geographic Society, and you always put your punctuation mark at the end. So I'm going to put my period at the end. Now, whenever I am putting information here, for me, I like to just copy and then I'll paste it at the end, okay? So now here what I like to do, I like to tile my windows left and right. If you are on a PC, you can do it, and you could put one window on one side, and then I'm going to put the other window on this side. So as I'm reading the article, I can jot down information. Okay, so first maybe I should put what oceanography is. So it says, oceanography is the study of all aspects of the ocean. All right, now here's what's really important. We want to eliminate the amount of direct quotes, okay? So direct quotes would be citing this word for word, and I would have to put in quotation marks. This would be a direct quote. Oceanography is the study of all aspects of the ocean. Okay, now if I did that, I would have to say stated the National Geographic Society. I wouldn't put an in-text citation parenthetical with the parentheses. But I don't want to include direct quotes. I want to synthesize the information, which means put it in my own words, okay? So let me go ahead and go back here. Let me put my in-text citation here. This is a parenthetical in-text citation. It's showing the reader where you got your information from, okay? So I need to put in the definition of oceanography in my own words. So oceanography is the study of all characteristics of oceans. Notice how if I did that, I'm paraphrasing this definition in my own words. I could also go on to say oceanography is a scientific field that studies topics such as marine life, ecosystems, waves, and the geology of seafloors. Notice how I also put this second sentence into my own words. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to put this information into my own words. All right, so I said oceanography is the scientific studies, I'm going to take that out, of marine life, seafloors, currents, waves, and all parts of oceans. Notice how I didn't put my period at the end of oceans because my period goes at the end of this parenthetical citation. Now, I put this parenthetical citation here because that is where I got that information from. Now, I'm going to go to my next bullet point and find some more information on oceanography. So I could also see that there are different types of oceanography. So now I can put this into my own words. I could say there are many different categories of oceanography. Okay? Now, I wouldn't need to cite that. That's common knowledge. But then I could talk about the different categories here if I wanted. And I could change it up. And remember, this is my parenthetical citation. So whenever I'm paraphrasing information from this article, I'm going to put that parenthetical citation at the end. And then when I go to start writing my rough drafts, I pretty much already have sentences to plug into my rough draft essay. All right, so let's say I gathered a lot more information from this article. Try to gather as much information as you can from your article. Now look, this is really amazing. Look what ENG7A does at the bottom. They put suggested articles related to this topic. So I might want to look at this history of oceanography because I did put into one of my research questions, what is the history of oceanography? So I could click on this article, and then I would do the same thing for this article in this box, okay? So now I'm going to gather my other information. Oh, this was published by the same company. So remember, I paste it and then I keep the text only so it fills into my box properly. And then remember, I also need to add the title, okay? So I could add the title here. I'm going to copy and paste it. This is going to be helpful for when I create my in-text citation. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing. Now, this is what's tricky because this one is also National Geographic Society. I might want to put the title of the article for this one. So I would put history of oceanography. And now this is going to be my parenthetical citation for all the information in this article. And I'll go through the same process and find information about that. Okay, now let's say if I go back to my homepage of ENG7A, maybe I need to find some more information on oceanography. So I might browse or search. I'm going to search oceanography and see what else I can find on my topic. All right, so I could go through here. I already did those two. I could click on here, which is a text set, which is then going to have a bunch of different articles within it. Again, for your research report, I would recommend having about 3 to 4 outside sources for your article. Okay, so let's see. Maybe I would like to look at ocean currents because I know ocean currents is part of oceanography. So that could be maybe a paragraph in my report. So I could read that. Remember, you would gather your citation information, put it here, and then gather some bullet points. Okay? All right. Now, let's say I want to look for more information, and ENG7A doesn't really have anything. So there's one more database that you could go to. So let's go back to our English course. I'm going to minimize out of these things so we can go back into full screen into my English course. All right. Now there's this other amazing resource that I shared in the flipped preview video from last week, and it's called Scholastic Go. I'm going to show you where to find it, and this is an awesome resource for you in finding those outside information or articles for your research reports, not only for English class, but for your other classes as well. So I'm going to go to my full home screen at the very beginning, okay? Now up on the top right corner of your full home screen here, where you have your picture, is this little link button. Yours is going to look a little different, but you do have this Scholastic Go link. So click on Scholastic Go, which is like an encyclopedia. It's an online encyclopedia. Click on OK. And then you go into this other amazing database that you can gather information for your research report on. So mine is on oceanography. So I'm going to type that topic into my search bar here and click on search. Wow, this is amazing. I have a bunch of different articles on oceanography. I could make a paragraph on careers in oceanography. That looks pretty cool. So maybe I'll check that out. So I'm going to click on number 3. All right. Now here's what I love about Scholastic Go. You know how we've been talking about citing your sources? It should be evident where your information comes from in your essay. Not only do you have to have your works cited page, which is at the end of your essay, but you need to cite it throughout your essay when you're saying information that you've gathered from certain articles. So look at this. If I click on cite this article, this is what I love about Scholastic Go. It creates the citation for you. So if I copy this, I like to highlight it. You could right click, you could highlight this, right click and click copy, or depending on what your computer you could press Command C or Control C to copy. And then if I go to my Word document, now I want to show you something. You could put this was careers, so maybe I say what careers are in oceanography. Now I'm gathering other information here, okay? I'm going to paste my bibliographic information here, keep text only. Now, I will be teaching you in another video how to properly put this in-text citation in your works cited page because it has to have a hanging indent, but I'll save that for a different video, okay? So now I can gather information on this, and my parenthetical citation for this one would be, I don't have an author, so it would be careers in oceanography, remember, and then I'd put a parentheses, period. Then I would put this at the end of all of my paraphrased sentences, which are putting the information into your own words to show that I gathered that information from this article, okay? So this would be a great step to make sure you're doing by lesson 3.06. I'd highly recommend trying to gather 3 or 4 sources and creating this graphic organizer. When you're done with this, you then can go to this outline. And this outline would be where I have a thesis statement, which is going to be the topic sentence for your research report. It's also going to be, the introduction is going to be where you introduce your topic and give your reader the background information that you need. So based off of my graphic organizer, 7th graders, I'm going to say that my thesis statement is about oceanography's history, the different subtopics within oceanography, and the different careers of oceanography. So I'd want to include that within my thesis statement. Then maybe my first topic sentence would be the history of oceanography. So I would create a topic sentence on that, and I would just title this History of Oceanography. You wouldn't actually have to title this in your rough draft. This is just for your outline. And then maybe my second one would be the different subcategories of oceanography, and I could explain that, the different types of oceanography. And then, and I like to always use my spell check here, then I could do maybe careers in oceanography. Okay, I keep spelling that wrong. Okay, And then I would find my topic sentence, supporting evidence and citation. Look, if I already have this graphic organizer, I could go back and I could copy this and I could go put it into my outline. I think the definition would be good here. So I could paste it here. Remember, I paste lists without formatting, okay? And then I can create a strong outline, which then I would use to create that 5-paragraph research report rough draft that will be submitted in lesson 3.09. You will receive another video on how to take your outline and your graphic organizer and create a strong MLA style rough draft that will be submitted in lesson 3.09. So good luck gathering information for your research report. Remember, the topic is any scientific topic or scientist that you would like to explore. Some students are doing theirs on a hurricane, or some students are doing theirs on a scientific topic or scientist that has interest them, like deserts, or how to have healthy habits. There are so many different topics, and if you need help choosing, I would recommend going to ENG7A, browsing. Again, you can go to this by going to lesson 3.05 at the very end and browse by science topics. Then it's going to give you a bunch of different things. You could look at deserts, you could look at hygiene, you could look at bones. There are astronomy. There's just so many topics to choose from and so many articles available. All right, 7th graders, I hope that this video helped you learn how to find sources and start gathering notes and planning your research report. Please reach out to me with any questions, and there will be other videos that you will receive on how to take your graphic organizer and notes and put them into a strong MLA-style rough draft. I hope this video helped you learn how to find your citation information, paraphrase and synthesize your information, and create in-text parenthetical citations. This is Mrs. Alexander. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to assist you, and have fun researching your scientific topic. Bye!